Hey guys, thank you for joining me on Their Fight Story. Here we have Mike Triana with us. He's a one of a kind of lion fight. If you want to know a lot about Muay Thai, he's definitely the guy that you want to talk to. So Mike, can you give us a little background of yourself?
Of course, yes. Thank you, Dali. It's a pleasure to be here. So a little bit of background about me. I've been doing Muay Thai for about 8 years now. I started just because there was like a random gym in my neighborhood and ended up being a great gym where I started fighting. I ended up at the beginning I didn't want to fight, but then after fighting, I started getting titles, going to different national tournaments, the WKA. I won there, IKF. I got national titles from there. The U.S. Open. Eventually made the U.S. National team and started competing in Thailand and Belarus and Sweden. And then I turned pro in in Brazil actually. I went
Oh
all the
wow.
way down to Brazil, and that was my first pro fight. I went to train with Cosmo Alexander, which is he's a great Muay Thai fighter. He's like one of my idols, and my coach was actually like they were training partners. So I went to train pretty much like kind of his gym or his,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know. I just wanted to make my first pro fight like in his hometown, and yeah, I went to Brazil, met Cosmo Alexander, started training, asked for titles. Again the WKA, IKF. U.S. Open. I got a title actually from from the stadium there, from the my pro fight. They just gave me like a title there for the 60 kilo weight division. Portuario Stadium. I probably said that wrong. In Brazil. And No Boundary here in Massachusetts, which is one of the newest ones. It was actually my last fight before I went pro and left to Brazil. I won the No Boundary 135 weight, yes. And yeah, so I'm so bad with these weight things. I'm like, oh cool, title. Like, oh, awesome. Like, all right, what's next?
That's
I enjoy it.
awesome.
Yeah, but sometimes when people ask me about the names, I'm like, I don't know. I fight 135, 130. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me and my titles and experience as a Muay Thai fighter.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know when I first started seeing you fight, it was always like, oh my gosh, Iron Boy's gonna be fighting. Iron Boy's gonna be fighting because it's like
Thank
he
you.
would always like perform, It was like something like out of this world, So it was always be, and it was always even your teammates, all of your teammates. It's like as soon as we knew you guys were coming, we're like, oh yeah, the show's gonna happen tonight, something good's gonna happen. So, with all this COVID-19, how have you been keeping up with the training? Because I know you also have an online book that you did.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So training has been good. I've spent a lot of I've been trying to really grow through it. Taking the time to have extra time to really work. On the book, on online academy as well. But as far as training, I actually do wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go train and at the gym because I do have keys to the gym. So I wake up really early every day. Luckily, one of my teammates, which and it's Aaron
Yes.
Ortiz. Yeah, he's funny and he's an amazing guy. So it's just been us two, really, just us two, and of course, like we try to respect the whole locked in and try to, but of course, we try to still keep sharp. So every day, 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., we're at the gym training till like around 9, like 8:30, 9. And then that's it. So we've been keeping sharp to be honest, like as far as training. We've been good. Every night I go for not every night, but most nights I go for runs. Sometimes I go for long runs, sometimes I go for short
Mhm.
runs. So at least as part of training, good. Very good. Yeah. Gives me time to like heal some injuries as well.
Yes, that's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Very
So
important. And how is your online academy? How did it happen? And how did you partner up with Brian and all that?
yeah, so before this all this happened, it was actually something I was working on. It was supposed to happen for next year. Like I was planning it, and as you know, I have a YouTube channel as well, and put out a lot of content, and all the content is free. So then I was like, all right, well, I think I showed that I really love what I do and I
Mhm.
love teaching. So I was like, all right, I would like to do this as a living, and especially in the online world where I can reach a lot more people. In fighting, sometimes it might give me a little bit more freedom. So then when all this happened, I kind of already had like a blueprint, and I was like, all right, well, I already know how it's going to work. I already know like, how the program is going to run. Now I just got to create it. And well, with all the time, I literally just, for like about a month, I went on my computer. I create everything, like all the
Mhm.
website, all the marketing, like every little detail, all the videos, everything. Like I don't outsource it mostly because sure a little bit on money, but so I learned everything. I do it, and like for about a month, just like 24 hours. Like I was really working like 20, 22 hours every day, like just creating it.
Mhm.
I saw it as a great opportunity to just help my community or help the communities because I can reach a lot further and start my dream, in a way, my dream job, which is not exactly like the online world, but just teaching for a living and being able to do, eat with it and share Muay Thai as opposed to like I do Uber and I do other stuff that I'm grateful for it, but like it's not my thing, and I would rather do what I
Mhm.
love than that. So that's kind of how I came out about this. Like we had the blueprint, or I had the blueprint, and then I started it. And then with Brian was that last year he had me do a seminar down on his place, and then we started talking about business and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, like I'm working out kind of in a way the same like the online thing. I was like, yeah, I'm working on something right now. It's like, and I told him like, hey, it's gonna about like a year. I gotta really like just take my time with it and stuff like that. So I talked to him a little bit, and then before I started creating, I was like, hey man, like if you want to come, like come into it and be one of the coaches and really share your knowledge as well, especially during these times that we can give
Mhm.
back. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So then after that, we just like when we started just working together. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. I think it's a great idea. It's amazing, especially having two well-rounded individuals that know what they're doing. Because unfortunately, you see people teaching that have never done it. Just
Yeah.
like a turbo jam class or something, and now they're like kickboxers, and it's like, no, no, no. It's like you need to know what you're doing before you mess something up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I tuned into a couple of your classes.
Thank you.
And they are amazing. I love
Thank
it. I
you.
do
Did.
love them.
Yeah, that's actually something that motivated me, like especially with the YouTube videos.
Mhm.
Like I was like, ah man, like who am I to teach anyways? Like, I mean, I fight and stuff, and I like to teach, but I don't know. I'm sure there's like tons of like great teachers out there. But then like I started seeing like a lot of people that were really giving out really bad content that were not like they had no experience whatsoever, and I was like, you know what? Like, all right, like I don't know. I don't consider myself the best, but like, all right, like I've been in fights. I know how to fight. I know what works. I got in hidden phase. Like I can tell you what works, what doesn't work. And again, like I teach actively in my gym
Mhm.
and in other places. So I was like, I'm used to teaching and I love teaching. It's very natural for me. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's try to put some good content out there and really help people instead of them having things that will never work, honestly. So
Yes. Very
yeah,
scary.
it is, but again, like you gotta fight the good fight, just like people fight the bad fight, and there's people that come and fight the good fight, and that's what motivated me. It's like, all right,
Yes.
cool. Like I can do something I love and actually like help again the community. So I was like, all right, awesome, let's do it.
You have a book that teaches people how to cut weight correctly,
Yes.
and you're teaching people how to train correctly. So, I mean, you're doing a great job. What do you want people to know about your book? What motivated you to write it?
Yeah, for weight cutting, I did see a lot of stuff that was really unhealthy, and even at like high levels, even
Mhm.
at high levels, high competitors that yeah, they didn't know how to do it. I was very lucky that, my team had a lot of resources. We really researched, we really we really made a lot of mistakes, but we were always trying to like make it better. And we eventually made like a system, and then eventually I made my own kind of like way of doing it. And I also help all my teammates cut weight, especially if they're having trouble. They all come to my house and we're like, all right, man, like you're sleeping here tonight. We're gonna, and it's funny because I even have them eat while they're cutting weight, which they think is like, oh, you're like, what? Like, how are we eating while we're cutting weight? I'm like, just trust me, just trust me.
Yeah.
And they always make it. So, they're like, man, like you're really good at this. And we always fight hard. We always fight ready.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me again share my knowledge. And I'm no doctor, and like no, like didn't go to school for nutrition, but I have experience, and like I want to share at least the best of what I have, things that I know have worked that can really help other people, because cutting weight or weight cutting is very dangerous, especially in our sport. So yeah, I was like, let me put this resource out there and try to help people. And it seems like, it's been helping a lot of people. I have a client that he worked with me. We didn't really use like the book talks about weight cutting, but like about 70% of the book is more about just eating lifestyle, because at the end of the day, it's just like you can't shock your system. You're eating junk food all the time, and then you're like, all right, let's cut weight, and like your body's like, what, like what happened to the burger? And like it's a lifestyle. You got to build a healthy lifestyle where your body is having these good things coming in, this good nutrition, and then and then you go off that, as opposed to like, oh, okay, we're gonna cut weight in like the next 2 weeks, and then hurt yourself by doing so. Things like hydration, sleeping well are super important, even without talking about anything about eating. If you're not sleeping well, like nothing's gonna work, honestly. Like it's gonna be almost impossible for you to cut weight, like if you don't sleep well. If you're not well hydrated, another thing. And again, we haven't even got to like the actual food things. So there's a lot of stuff that it's in the book that is just things that are healthy for you, even if you're not even cutting weight. Again, I had a client, he lost 150 pounds with me, and he actually had ACL tear. So it was tough because we couldn't run, we couldn't really do anything. We were training on, on his knees. And it was mostly just nutrition, like literally like, hey, make sure you sleep, hey, make sure you hydrate, make sure you portion control. Again, we haven't even talked about like the specifics, but these three things, like control, sleeping well, hydration, are super important. I know a lot of people think too much of like, oh, let's eat this, oh, let's, like all these specific things. It's just like, no, there's like these really big fundamentals that you need to take care of before you even get to like, oh, what gives me like the best nutrients? It's like, no, hold up. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're not overeating, which is a huge thing. Overeating. I know a lot of people that eat healthy, but they overeat so much that they're still overweight, and they don't understand. They're just like, yeah, but I make all these recipes like this gluten-free like pie, and I'm just like, yeah, but it's still a pie. Like it's still gonna, it still has like 3,000 calories. It might be all great, but like again, portion control. So I'm happy because like all these products kind of stemmed out of like problems that I saw and things that I really wanted to give out. I'm not a writer, and to be honest, I've never written a book. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna just try my best. I work with like some editors and some like people to help me with like spelling and grammar and stuff like that, making sure I wasn't making so many mistakes with the graphics and things like that. And then eventually we got a nice manual, nothing too big, because again, most people, if you give them like a huge book, they might not read it. My point was just like, all right, just get to the point, and here's the information you need to know, and hopefully it helps you out in your journey. So far, like I've had a lot of great feedback from it, so it makes me happy, and it makes me happy that I can change people's lives for the better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you entertain people because you're so talented, and on top of that, you're taking the time out to help them health-wise and prepare them, because they're getting the exercise they need from your online academy, but they're also learning the right technique. So they're having fun and learning. you know. So,
Yeah.
and like they said, you know, they understand why they call you Iron Boy because, you know, you're very lethal. They're like, I don't know how he does it. And I'm like, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really love, again, I've seen you, some of your posts and stuff like martial arts and the way that it affected you. And, like same, I think most martial artists that are passionate about it is because they changed our lives, and
Yes.
I don't know if it's for everybody, but at least I want to share that with everybody, and then hopefully it helps them out as well. Like it's just, I don't know, magical. I don't know what it is, but it's like there's so many things about it.
The thing with martial arts for me is that when a person really wants to do it and they understand it, it centers you. You know what I mean? Because everything starts with your mind, and a key part of it is the discipline and calming your mind so your body can process everything, you can focus, and you can execute what you want. And that's a major part of martial arts. So no matter what level of martial arts that a person wants to fulfill, whether it's exercise or if it's to compete or whatever it is, it gives back to you. So it never takes anything, it doesn't take anything good away from you. It just keeps adding, benefits. Just like you're adding to people's lives by you're training them, you're teaching them, everything, like every little bit. My goal is for people just like you to understand the importance of martial arts and how great it is in every life because it's a mindfulness. It centers us. You're talented, you have a great heart, and I mean, what more could you
Thank you
ask
so
for?
much. I appreciate that a lot. It
You're
makes me very
welcome.
happy. It makes me very happy because again, it is something I love and I do it out of my heart. So, like all these like words and things that sometimes I get messages from people, very nice messages, and it literally just makes my day. It's like I know sometimes I will hear other people in businesses or whatever say these things, but I never understood it until like it started happening to me. And I just read it and I'm just like, oh wow, like it just literally makes my day. I'm just like, wow, like I'm so happy that I can actually. It sounds weird, but like I do doubt myself a lot. I'm like, can I really help? Like, can I? And then like when, and then when you get this feedback, it's just like, oh yeah, it is helping. You're like, all right, cool. So I can put my own um touch to the world because I think everybody can help the world. Everybody should help the world in their own little way, and this is just my way of doing it. So and then the classes, I always tell people that, I am teaching you Muay Thai. I'm teaching you, how to defend yourself, how to, the art of it. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's you, it's your own journey. It's, your mental state, your spiritual state, your physical state, like all three of them are gonna grow. And it's not just about kicking and punching. It really isn't. It's about more like that we're saying like that mindfulness of
Hmm.
being in the moment, of being feeling that growth and feeling good, feeling good. So that's what I try to teach mostly. It's just that again, that's what martial arts Muay Thai brought to me. It's just that through hard work, through the fights, through losses, that's what it taught me. And yeah, I just want to teach that to people. Share it. Or share it, not
You,
just share it.
yeah, no, you're doing a great job. I
Thank,
mean, anybody who takes a class with you, whether online or in person, is very fortunate. And
thank you.
they're very fortunate too. And you're giving your knowledge that you don't have to. And, I appreciate it. So thank you.
Oh,
Even
my
though I'm
pleasure.
not seeing results because I just see the video and I see you, but I don't get off the sofa or do anything. But I
It's
don't
all
see
right. You
results,
will.
but
You
I
will.
will.
Yes, you will. Yeah, especially these tough times. Like again, it's important to keep the positivity up. Um, especially like I for the academy, I don't go live every day. That's not part of it. But I was like, hey guys, like, you know what? Let's go. I'm gonna be live every day. You guys like just try to be there. Let's keep working. Let's keep, a lot of times the way we can make a change in the world is by making a change in us,
Yes.
and then that reflects to the outside. And I'm a big believer in that. that I want to lead by example, you know. So then I always try to push myself better. And I'm actually really bad at social media. It's I don't like it. Like it's so, but again, social media is a great outlet to express and help other people.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, you know, like sometimes I'm like, ah, they don't really have to make this video, like saying that, hey guys. But then like again, it motivates me that is people sending messages.
Yes.
Honestly, that's what got me like more motivated because you know I might post something about like just a workout or like, hey guys, like stay positive, let's keep going. And then like I get messages back like, oh, thank you, I love seeing these positivity posts and all that stuff. So then I was like, oh, well, you know, it helps people, so let me keep going. And again, just by giving, I feel like you just get, you know, that energy back, you know. So it feels good. It feels good. Again, it feels good. Keeps me going every day, giving back, and I get from giving back, you know, at the
Yes.
same time.
I mean, even if you just change one life, that's really all that matters. But yours is a domino effect. You're going to get one person, it's just going to keep going and going and going. And as long as you still keep doing what you always do, stay smiling
I will.
and
I will. I think I've always done it. I remember. I think it was IFMA, one of the biggest tournaments, if not the biggest Muay Thai tournaments. Um, and one of the guys, he was talking about like, hey, like you know, we're all athletes here, but you know, a lot of times we compete in the sport. We, you know, we're young, but then later on, we kind of stop doing Muay Thai, and then you know, some of you guys do other jobs and stuff like that. And then the guy, the president, I think it was the president, he was like, you know, it'll be nice if you guys gave back or like, you know, share this somehow. And that I used to like remember more like the voice and a little bit of like
yeah.
the scene. And I remember that. And at that time actually, I don't know if it was like Sweden or Belarus or maybe Thailand. I don't think it was Thailand, but it was definitely like I don't know, like Thailand was like I was too I don't know. I was just like so like train.
Yeah.
Right now I am too, but right now like again I'm more also like about teaching and about like sharing and stuff like that. Um and that got to me. I was like, yeah, that is true. Like, you know, it'll be especially if you have the knowledge, especially like again, you're in the world tournaments, you're there for a reason. You know, you're
Hmm.
good. You know? Like there's things that you can give that are actually authentic and can actually help people. So I was like, you know what, like yeah, like I like to teach. Of course, like first things that comes to mind is like have your own gym, you
Yeah.
know. But I was like, I want to do it different. Like, like don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like I like that's an amazing way to give, and I will definitely have my own gym for sure. That is a dream of mine. But I was like my ultimate dream, honestly, is like I want to have like a super gym, like a
Hmm.
really huge gym. But I actually don't really want to work like in it. It sounds weird. I want to take care of homeless kids and like
Oh,
just have
that's
like a
beautiful.
community. Yeah, and just like give them a home and a family, and I just want to work with them. Of course, like I'll walk around, see that everything's running nicely. You
And
know,
then you
like
go back.
yeah, I just want to work with them. That's it. Like make sure that, you know, they're there, they have a place to stay, they can go to school, they have a place to eat. You know, of course they're living there, so they gotta train. You
Yeah.
know, I'll teach them what I know as my profession, but I also just want to let them know that, hey, like, you know, you have a support system and
Hmm.
whatever your dreams are, whatever you want to do, like you gotta work hard for it, but you can do it, you know, like we're here to help you out. Like if you want to become a fighter, well, awesome. But if you don't, like it's, you know, like the sky's the limit of whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. Because again, the way to give back is, I think a lot of times just loving what we do and sharing that with people, whatever it is, even if it's just multiple things. You know, I know some people might have hard time finding their dreams, but I would just say like just follow your curiosity and it'll take you to things that you really love, you know? So
Wow, you surprised me. You added more
uh,
more amazing things to the things I thought of you. That is a beautiful mission that you have. And I
thank you,
hope to be
appreciate
there to capture every single moment of that. When you open your school, when you're working with the homeless kids, I hope I'm still around to witness that and
Thank you. Yeah,
This
for
is the
sure. I mean,
part
all
that,
my friends can definitely come and visit for sure. Cause I mean, you've been there like I
yeah,
think probably since like day one. Like I remember you taking the pictures, and honestly, it makes my day to see you at the fights because you're always so happy. You always have this like great energy, and I'm just like, yes. Even like usually we're like cutting weight, and we're like, ah. But
no,
then like you're there like taking the pictures, you make it so like smooth for people. And we're like, and we fool around taking
yeah,
pictures and things, and you have just some great energy, like it's nice to like have you part of like all the like when you take the pictures, have you part of like that, that community, that scene, like it's nice. So
thank
keep that
you.
as well. Yeah.
Well, I know you guys work hard. You guys are training, you guys are cutting weight, you guys are, so I'm trying to get you guys a little bit of energy and get you going because you guys need to eat, you need to hydrate, because
Yeah.
I don't know every person that's there to know if they're cutting a lot of weight, if they're not cutting a lot of weight. So as soon as I can get them out of there, and if they have to come back later and I'll take their picture, I'll be more than happy to. But my goal is that they're healthy. And
Yeah, yeah. No, you for sure you provide like a a great energy. You're always smiling. You're always like, and I know everybody has their own, bad days or their own demons inside,
yeah,
right? Like their own things, but you're always smiling, and like that shows. It makes for a nice time, good memories.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is is there anything else that you want to share with everybody who's watching?
Yeah, sure, sure. So, the Academy, you can find it on my IG, Instagram. You just type Mike Iron Boy, I will pop up, and YouTube as well. Iron Boy Experience. You can Google Iron Boy Experience, or the Iron Strong Academy. That's what it's called. So make sure you join. There's a free trial, so you can check it out. If you like it, then you can stay. If you don't, then you don't lose and you don't risk anything as well. And I guess like for a last message is just like I always say, people just keep at it. Whatever you're working on, whatever your goals are, just keep at it. Right now, this will be a memory for COVID-19. So it's just like tough times, but tough times also bring the best in us if we really want it. Like because sometimes the only times we might show our true strength is when we only have that choice, when being strong is the only choice. So always just try to see the bright side no matter what. I know sometimes it can be tough, but just always try to see the bright side. Just like in a fight, I could get really hurt. I can just be like, oh, I'm hurt. I'm like, no. I'm like, I gotta like fight back. Because if not, I'm just gonna get hurt even more.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same. So keep at it, guys. And well, thank you for tuning in. And yes, that's
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dalia. That was awesome.
Thank you.